On July 28, former Premier Datuk Seri Najib Razak was found guilty by the High Court of all 7 charges of abuse of power, criminal breach of trust and money laundering with regards to the 42 million belonging to SRC International Sdn Bhd. Exposure on the SRC International is seen to pick up after the COVID-19 virus outbreak in the country was under control. The media swiftly provided development on the case, with the former Premier's defence team presenting oral submissions for 3 consecutive days. On June 4, Lead Defence Counsel Tan Sri Muhammad Shafi'i Abdullah insists that Najib is a victim of scam. Ultimately, on July 28, the High Court Judge Muhammad Nazlan Muhammad Ghazali finds the former Prime Minister of Malaysia guilty of all 7 charges in the SRC trial. During this crucial time, it can be observed that the narrative of the SRC trial is dominated by legal personalities. Those against the former Premier are seen to be in control of the narration on the SRC trial in the past 2 months. For example, there is a difference of 185 statements between the lead prosecutor V. Sidambaran and lawyer Shafi'i Abdullah. And interestingly, politicians are seen to be less interested with Najib's current case. The conversation on Najib's conviction was not only talked about in the mainstream media, but has also expanded into Twitter. Based on the graph, Faris Azman from Astro Awani holds the biggest influence. He leads the cluster with his live tweet in July 28 during Najib's SRC trial in High Court. His tweet reached more than 9,000 retweets and almost 8,000 likes. Najib's conviction was widely covered by the Malaysian media. As seen in the network, popular media such as Harian Metro, Astro Awani, TV3, and BFM holds the narration of the conviction by driving engagement and interactions among netizens through thousands of retweets. Besides the media institutions, the High Court's verdict on Najib's SRC trial also caught the attention of popular bloggers such as Xavier Nazar and Milo Swam, who managed to gain a good amount of responses. V. Sidambaram appeared first in the ranks with 755 statements. He was happy with the verdict of the court, saying it is a huge relief for him and his team, quoting that it is a victory for justice. Meanwhile, lawyer Shafi'i Abdullah has appeared 4th in the ranks with 570 statements. Although he lost the case, Shafi'i is determined to fight for the case in the Court of Appeal, strongly implying that Najib was just a victim in the case. Meanwhile, from the political side, Zahid Hamidi, who is the president of UMNO, recently declared that the party would not officially join the loose ruling coalition, leaving Muhyiddin Yassin's government on a razor edge. Consequently, this would make the slim majority of MPs supporting the current Prime Minister looks increasingly uncertain if it turns out to be true. However, Zahid has said that they are still part of the government, only that they do not want to be a component member of PN. According to the UMNO president, the reason being was because the party's Supreme Council had decided that Muafakat Nasional was the best platform for UMNO, PAS and BN component parties. Although that was said to be the reason, Zahid's move to make the announcement a few days after Najib's verdict in the SRC trial may put the UMNO's president in an unfavourable position, considering he himself facing a raft of corruption charges. Besides Zahid Hamidi's declaration, former UMNO's youth chief Khairi Jamaluddin also lent his voice following Najib's conviction in the SRC trial. Khairi urged UMNO to rejuvenate the party and move on from the former president. This further shows that Najib is losing his ground with the prominent leaders of the party who was once his staunch supporters. So where is UMNO today, and how Najib's SRC case will affect the party's move politically? If we look at the influencers list of Najib Razak, there are no prominent UMNO leaders who are in support of the former Premier. Najib is left at the top with no voice in support of him. Additionally, Najib's SRC trial is also not given attention by the UMNO party as seen in the influencers list of UMNO in the past week. Their focus is shifted towards the upcoming snap election in Sabah as seen in the past week. While Najib's recent conviction shed a negative light on the party, the leaders are currently seen to dissociate themselves from the former president. The next biggest test for UMNO would be the trial of Zahid Hamidi, who is the current president of the party. The result of the trial would put UMNO at a split path, but until then, UMNO is seen to take a defensive and passive stance on their party leaders.